The Isle of Man, Phil Hartman, and The Last Supper are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is May 28th. It is the 149th day of the year. There are 217 days left in this dumpster fire we call 2020. It is the 70th day of spring, and there are 24 days left until summer. Check your air conditioning. Everyone waits till the first heat wave of summer, and then they try and get the air conditioning guy out of their house because something isn't working, and he's way too busy. Do yourself a favor, take this piece of advice, check your air conditioning before it starts getting hot. Anyway, today is National Burger Day. National Burger Day is a day to appreciate hamburgers. The term hamburger is derived from the city of Hamburg, Germany, or Hamburg, Germany, whichever you want to call it. This is where beef from Hamburg cows was minced and formed into patties to make a Hamburg steak. The origin of the hamburger in the United States remains debated. Although most people claim that the hamburger originated somewhere between 1880 and 1900, they're not really sure of the exact date or the exact person. But anyway, since then, this beef patty in a bun has become a global staple of the fast food diet and backyard cookouts. In recent years, these traditional beef patties have been transformed to include other meats such as bison, ostrich, deer, chicken, turkey, and non-beef options like the vegetarian one, tofu, and bean patties. National Hamburger Day is celebrated annually on May 28th. 1907, the first Isle of Man TT races held. The Isle of Man TT, or Tourist Trophy, races are annual motorcycle sporting events run on the Isle of Man in May and June of most years since its inaugural race in 1907. The event is often called the most dangerous racing event in the world. This thing is crazy. This isn't a track. These are rural roads that guys on motorcycles are doing over 100 miles an hour on average. I think the average speed these days is like 130 miles an hour or close to. That's the average speed. And off to the side, there's not like nice soft barriers you'd see on a normal racetrack. There's like stone walls that have been there for hundreds of years. Trees, things like that. Somebody's always hitting a wall. Somebody's always hitting a building. Somebody's always hitting a tree. People die there on the regular. It's crazy. There's a bunch of documentaries. You can see them on Amazon or Netflix. Check them out. Or YouTube. I watched one this morning on YouTube. 1937, Volkswagen, the German automobile manufacturer, is founded. It is known for its iconic Beetle. I owned one in the mid-80s. In 1934, Adolf Hitler became involved in ordering the production of a basic vehicle capable of transporting 2 adults and 3 children up to 62 miles per hour. He wanted all German citizens to have access to cars. However, the war changed the production to military vehicles, and they used slave labor to manufacture these cars. The company would admit in 1998 that it used 15,000 slaves during the war effort. German historians estimate that 80% of Volkswagen's wartime workforce was slave labor. 1975, 15 West African countries signed the Treaty of Lagos, creating an economic community of West African states. This was, they wanted to cooperate, kind of like the EU is, things like that. Well, the EU came on later, but they wanted everyone to cooperate. This became challenging because it's like almost every single year one of them gets into a civil war, but it's still in place. I don't know how, it's working these days, but it's still there, at least on paper. 1987, a 18-year-old West German named Matthias Rust evades Soviet Union air defenses and lands a private plane in Red Square, Moscow, Russia. He was immediately detained and released on August 3rd, 1988, so they held on to him for a couple months. His excuse for being this stupid and performing this illegal landing was that he wanted to create an imaginary bridge to the east, and he said the flight was intended to reduce tensions and suspicions between the two Cold War sides. This had the opposite effect most historians believe. Way to go, Matthias. Way to ratchet up the suspicion a notch. 1996, U.S. President Bill Clinton's former business partners in the Whitewater land deal, Jim and Susan McDougal, and the governor of Arkansas, Jim Guy Tucker, are convicted of fraud. It began with an investigation into the real estate investments of Bill and Hillary Clinton and their association with the Whitewater Development Corporation. This failed business venture was incorporated in 1979 with the purpose of developing vacation properties along the White River near Flippin, Arkansas. Flippin, Arkansas, that's a real town, but it sounds like something you say when you're trying to censor yourself when saying something negative about Arkansas? Flippin' Arkansas. Anyway, the allegations said that former President Bill Clinton had pressured David Hale, an Arkansas banker, to provide an illegal $300,000 loan to Susan McDougal. Yeah, they all did some time. Well, not the Clintons, but the other people involved. 1999, Milan, Italy. After 22 years of restoration work, Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece, The Last Supper, is put back on display. 22 years. I understand the caution with dealing with a piece of art like this, but 22 years seems to be a bit long to be, reworking something. But anyway, they know better than I do. 2002, the last steel girder is removed from the original World Trade Center. Cleanup duties officially end with a closing ceremony at Ground Zero in Manhattan, New York City. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg urged that the Ground Zero moniker be retired, saying the time has come to call those 16 acres what they are, the World Trade Center and National September 11th Memorial and Museum. Premiered on May 28th, 1982, Rocky III is released. I loved all the Rocky movies, even the bad ones. Interesting backstory to the first Rocky movie, Sylvester Stallone wrote the screenplay for Rocky in 3.5 days. That's it. United Artists really liked Stallone's script. They viewed it as a possible vehicle for well-established stars like Robert Redford, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds, James Caan. Stallone insisted on portraying the title character himself, to the point where issuing an ultimatum that he wasn't going to sell it if he wasn't the star. Stallone later said that he would have never forgiven himself had the film become a success like it was if somebody else was in the lead. The budget for making the movie was $1 million. It was right around that. That was the original budget, and they came in and right around $1 million. It made $225 million in theaters alone the first year. And I'm sure that counts any re-releases a year later or something like that. And God knows how much it's made on video, HBO, and all the other ways they release a movie these days. Born on May 28th, 1944, Gladys Knight, American singer, songwriter, and actress. She was best known for her Motown group called Gladys Knight and the Pips. 1949, Wendy O. Williams, American singer, songwriter, musician, and actress. She was the lead singer for the craziest bands I've probably ever seen, the Plasmatics, in the 1980s. Yeah, she eventually committed suicide, but that band was nuts. Died on May 28th, 1971, Audie Murphy passes away. American soldier and actor. He was a Medal of Honor recipient and to this day is the most decorated soldier in the United States military. On May 28th, 1971, Murphy was killed when a private plane he was a passenger on crashed into Brush Mountain in Virginia, about 20 miles west of Roanoke, in conditions of rain, clouds, fog, and zero visibility. Great time to be flying. The pilot and 4 other passengers were also killed. There's an old movie about his life called To Hell and Back that he starred in. He actually played himself in a movie. How cool is that? They really need to remake that movie. If you ever want to read about someone and their interesting life, read about Audie Murphy. He's kind of forgotten by, later generations, but yeah, he's very, very interesting. 1998, we lost Phil Hartman, Canadian-American actor and comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons, and so many other things. His wife shot him while he slept. She was a failed actress and all coked up. 2010, Gary Coleman died, American actor. He was known for his role on Different Strokes, The Gary Coleman Show, which I know nothing about, Jimmy and the Kid, which I know nothing else about. I just knew him from Different Strokes. He died at the age of 42 from bleeding of the brain, usually caused by traumatic brain injury. He had fallen off a ladder. Alright, so that is May 28th in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Do yourself a favor, look up Audie Murphy. Do some reading, at least on Wikipedia. It's worth the read. Anyway, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already and you like what we're doing here. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.